getting ghosted really sucks. Now, I know what I'm saying isn't anything revolutionary or mind blowing, but I wanted to talk a bit about getting ghosted and how to get past it because this is something that happened to me pretty recently, really recently, actually. And the immediate reaction is to kind of feel foolish, especially if you've had self esteem problems like I've had over the years, where you almost feel kind of foolish for thinking someone could really be that into you. But uh, realistically, there is a process for getting past it. So hopefully, this can help somebody. Now, first and foremost, you have to recognize that there is that level of shame and embarrassment and foolishness that goes along with feeling that, hey, someone really liked me and I was really happy and I was riding a high and I was almost acting uncharacteristically silly and happy-go-lucky because I was happy. What you're reacting to when someone ghosts you is not the loss of that person. It's the loss of the feeling because it's like a drug. It's this really great high that you get, and then suddenly it's gone, and you go through like this immediate withdrawal that is further muddled by a huge amount of confusion because you don't necessarily understand why this happened. But that's part two, is accepting that maybe there isn't a reason. Maybe the person is just like this. Maybe you were being used, and being used isn't a reflection on you as a person. That's a big part of it, is understanding that this is not a negative reflection upon you as a person, for the most part. Granted that you didn't do anything wrong. And if you did do something wrong, I don't think someone would just ghost you like that. I think they would at least, if they were a respectful person, would give you the dignity of an explanation of why they don't want to talk to you anymore. You know, I know that in my behavior, if I've done something wrong, I want to know what I did wrong so that I can modify my behavior and hopefully use it to become a better and more well-rounded person. I'm 33 and I still have like a shit ton of growing up to do. And I admit that too. That's kind of why I keep things casual with dating, because I know what I can offer people and what I can't offer people. And I don't want to lead people to believe that I can offer something that I really can't. Now, ultimately, one of the things that you also have to recognize is that maybe the person thought they were doing the right thing, you know, that ghosting you was actually doing you a favor. Maybe they think, you know, hey, he's a really nice guy or she's a really nice girl, and rather than giving her the reason that I'm not into her or him, which could be anything from, you know, I don't find them physically attractive, they would decide that rather than hurt you by telling that, I'm just going to play the bad guy and ghost them completely so that then they don't let it reflect on their self-worth. But the problem is that the person internalizes a lot of the anguish anyway. And it becomes a problematic situation for them because they might go through a week or two where they're struggling to understand what went wrong, especially when there didn't appear to be anything wrong in the first place. But I think the key to getting past being ghosted is to just let it go. And I know that's really easy to say, and it's really pedantic, and it's a big platitude, but ultimately that is what will help you move past the pain of having someone reject you. You can't go around kicking waves angrily, you know, just because someone you're into isn't into you. Because that's how you end up making therapists and law enforcement a lot of money. I don't know, I go to the gym, I spend time with family, I go to movies, I get my mind on other things that have nothing to do with my own feelings about self-worth, you know? Because at the end of the day, being ghosted isn't really something that should have any sort of long-term lasting consequence on you. This is something that should literally be in and out of your mind in a matter of like 2 to 3 weeks at most, depending on how into the person you were and how big of an attachment that you formed with this person. But ultimately, I think what the goal is in getting past a heartbreak or past a ghosting is to just keep moving, to keep moving forward, to keep your mind and your body active, to bury yourself into other activities, because ultimately you don't want to rent out headspace to tenants who don't really deserve it, you know? So just keep living your life, you know? Don't let it turn you off of seeking what's out there. Because there's a lot of good stuff out there, and there's a lot worth pursuing. And so I don't think that you should let a negative dating experience reflect negatively on yourself unless the person actually gives you some reason for why they stopped talking to you. Because obviously you can't change negative aspects of your personality when they aren't addressed. So at the end of the day, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, it's not going to be easy to get past the pain and the awkwardness of feeling like your happiness is this thing you need to be embarrassed about. But being happy, however fleeting, is not something that anyone ever needs to be embarrassed about, because happiness doesn't always come in the way that we want or expect it to, but it comes all the same.